The American Old West was a land where legends were born at the pull of a trigger. Among the dusty streets and lawless frontiers, a fearless few rose to become the deadliest gunslingers history has ever known. Today, we count down the top 15 men and women who carved their names into Western lore with speed, skill, and unshakable nerve. Each one left behind a story so unbelievable, you'll wonder how they were ever real. Welcome to Royal Time of Hollywood. Number 15 is William Curly Bill Brocious. They called him Curly Bill for his thick, unruly black curls. A larger-than-life presence, he moved through Tombstone, Arizona, as a central figure among the cowboys, a loose network of cattle thieves and border riders. Lines on the frontier were often blurred. Brocious even reportedly collected taxes under Cochise County Sheriff John Bean. Known to heavily enjoy his liquor, Curly Bill accidentally shot and killed Marshal Fred White during a late-night dispute. White defended Brocious on his deathbed, calling it an accident, and the court acquitted him. Months later, his run came to a final, bloody end during a legendary shootout with Wyatt Earp near Iron Springs. Number 14 is Clay Allison. Clay Allison turned unpredictable behavior into a lethal art form. After suffering a severe head injury during the Civil War, his erratic temper quickly built a terrifying reputation across the West. His most famous duel involved outlaw Chunk Colbert. After sharing a tense meal together, Colbert drew his weapon, but Allison was faster, killing him instantly. When asked why he dined with a man who wanted him dead, Allison famously remarked, "I wouldn't want to send a man to hell on an empty stomach." Despite a lifetime of gunfights, Allison died an ordinary death in 1887, breaking his neck after falling from a wagon. Number 13 is Sam Bass. Sam Bass began with honest intentions, chasing a dream of becoming a Texas cowboy. But the honest life didn't pay fast enough. In 1876, Bass and a companion drove a herd of longhorns north, making an $8,000 profit. Instead of paying the herd's owners, they squandered it all in the gambling halls of Deadwood. Turning to crime, Bass graduated from small-time stagecoach robberies to targeting the Union Pacific Gold Train, walking away with over $60,000, the largest single robbery in the railroad's history. His whirlwind career ended in Round Rock, Texas, when he was fatally wounded during a bank heist on his 27th birthday. Number 12 is Deacon Jim Miller. James Miller faithfully attended church and avoided smoking or drinking, an image of calm respectability that masked a sinister profession. Deacon Jim was one of the most feared hired assassins in the West, openly killing anyone for fees ranging from $150 to $2,000. He preferred striking under the cover of night, wearing a black frock coat that hid his steel breastplate, an early form of body armor. While historians confirm 14 killings, rumors claimed the number was closer to 50. In 1909, an angry Oklahoma mob dragged him from jail to a stable. Calm to the end, Miller shouted, "Let her rip," and stepped off the hanging box himself. Number 11 is the Sundance Kid. Born Harry Longabout, he earned his nickname after a horse-stealing conviction in Sundance, Wyoming. Though legendary as a lethal gunman, there is no confirmed historical evidence that he ever actually took a life. In 1896, he teamed up with Butch Cassidy to form the notorious Wild Bunch, pulling off the longest streak of successful train and bank robberies in American history. To escape the Pinkertons, he fled to South America. While official reports state he died in a bloody shootout in Bolivia, whispers persist that he survived, returning to Utah under an alias until his death in 1936. Number 10 is Belle Starr. Born into refinement as an accomplished pianist, Myra Mabel Shirley grew up alongside outlaws like Cole Younger and the James Brothers. Drawn into a life of crime, she became Belle Starr, the bandit queen. After her guerrilla husband, Jim Reed, was killed, Belle masterminded horse theft rings and orchestrated highly ambitious robberies, using her sharp cunning to bribe or persuade local lawmen. Her legendary story came to a sudden, mysterious end in 1889, just 2 days before her 41st birthday, when she was ambushed and fatally shot from behind by an unidentified killer. Number 9 is Bill Doolin. Bill Doolin started as a highly capable and trusted Oklahoma ranch foreman before crossing paths with the Dalton Gang. He eventually founded the Wild Bunch, also known as the Doolin-Dalton Gang, terrorizing the 1890s by robbing banks and trains across multiple states. Following a dramatic jailbreak, Doolin went into hiding but was tracked down by determined Deputy U.S. Marshal Heck Thomas on August 24, 1896. When Doolin refused to surrender, Thomas shot him dead, effectively closing the chapter on one of the West's most notorious outlaw syndicates. Number 8 is Cherokee Bill. Crawford Goldsby, known to history as Cherokee Bill, was one of the most ruthless teenage outlaws of the Indian Territory. For 2 violent years, his gang terrorized the frontier, leaving 8 dead men in their wake, including Bill's own brother-in-law. Captured at a young age, he was sentenced to death by the famous hanging judge, Isaac Parker. On March 17, 1896, at just 20 years old, Goldsby walked up the gallows. When asked if he had any last words, he coolly replied, "I came here to die, not to make a speech." Number 7 is Doc Holliday. John Henry Holliday was a refined dentist from Georgia who moved west hoping the dry climate would slow his terminal tuberculosis. Turning to gambling, he became a legendary card sharp and a fiercely loyal friend to lawman Wyatt Earp. Holliday secured his place in history during the iconic gunfight at the OK Corral in Tombstone, Arizona. He later rode on Earp's famous Federal Vendetta ride to hunt down cowboys' outlaws. Despite his deadly reputation, Doc Holliday died peacefully in a Colorado hotel bed in 1887 at just 36 years old. Number 6 is Tom Horn. Tom Horn was a deeply calculated frontier enforcer who worked as a scout, a prized Pinkerton detective, and a feared hired gunman for wealthy cattle barons. His unmatched tracking skills and cold efficiency made him a legendary figure on the range. However, his legacy was forever shadowed by his controversial conviction for the sniper murder of 14-year-old Willie Nickel. Though many believed Horn was framed by powerful interests, he was executed in 1903, leaving his true guilt forever wrapped in frontier mystery. At number 5 is Butch Cassidy, the famous leader of the notorious Wild Bunch Gang, one of the most well-known outlaw groups of the American Old West. Cassidy became legendary for a string of train and bank robberies across the western United States. Although it is widely believed that he died in Bolivia in 1908, some historians and enthusiasts continue to speculate that he may have survived and lived the rest of his life in hiding. At number 4 is Cole Younger, a leading member of the infamous James Younger Gang. Known for his toughness and loyalty, Younger participated in numerous robberies alongside Jesse James and his brothers. After surviving a violent capture, he spent many years in prison before being released. Remarkably, when he died in 1916, doctors reportedly found evidence of 11 bullets still lodged in his body from the many gunfights he had endured throughout his outlaw career. At number 3 is Billy the Kid, one of the most legendary figures of the Wild West. A key fighter associated with the Regulators during the Lincoln County War, Billy gained a reputation as a skilled gunman and elusive outlaw. His life was cut short in 1881 when he was shot and killed by Sheriff Pat Garrett in Fort Sumner, New Mexico, forever cementing his place in American frontier folklore. At number 2 is Jesse James, perhaps the most famous outlaw in American history. A former Civil War guerrilla, James became a legendary bank and train robber whose exploits captured the public imagination. Despite years of evading the law, his story ended in betrayal when Robert Ford, a member of his own gang, shot him in the back of the head in 1882 while collecting a reward, turning Jesse James into an enduring symbol of the Wild West. The ultimate Wild West Titan. 1. John Wesley Hardin. The undisputed deadliest gunslinger of the Old West was John Wesley Hardin. Raised as the son of a Methodist preacher, Hardin claimed his first life at age 15 in self-defense. Viewing the post-Civil War Texas State Police as an enemy occupation, Hardin went on a lethal rampage, killing multiple lawmen while continuously escaping custody. His quick-draw speed was terrifying. During a stay at a Kansas hotel, irritated by a man snoring loudly in the next room, Hardin casually fired 2 bullets through the wall, killing him instantly. After serving 17 years in prison, where he remarkably studied law and became an attorney, Hardin was shot from behind while playing dice in an El Paso saloon in 1895, ending the most volatile life on the frontier. These 15 gunslingers forever blurred the lines between myth and history, proving just how wild the American frontier truly was. Which of these legendary figures captured your imagination the most? Drop their name in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Royal Time of Hollywood, and make sure to smash that bell notification